What does it mean for us? Well, it means that in the long run, SMEs will only be able to recruit less than 50% of apprentices and about 40% of specialists. And in this context, it's very important to integrate all young people to decrease youth unemployment and to provide qualified staff for SMEs. Now, the question that we are all asking, how can we achieve these goals? How can we change this situation? Well, by developing dual vocational education. Well, if you take the German education system as an example, where vocational education is well established and well developed, it shows that combining practical training in companies and theoretical training at vocational school has very positive impacts on the students, on the companies, and more broadly on society. So involving the enterprises in the training, it's very important, and it gives them also the possibility to form their potential future employees. It's valuable for both parties. And if we do this, you can see it connects also the vocational education much more closely to the requirements of the job market. And it leads then to lower youth unemployment. So to sum up, the dual vocational education means more labor on the market and a better qualified staff. And again, this is not secret, but young people are very different from one another. They have different backgrounds, they have different competencies and level of academic ability. And these differences are very important. We must take them into account. And if we take them into account, then we can offer them an education that is better for them, that suits them, what they want, what they need. So the introduction of 3 levels goes in this direction. So the first level that we can see here, it's specific vocational education courses for people with learning difficulties. So it lasts 2 years and it focuses mainly on practical learning and it's completed with a recognized qualification. Then we have the second level. So those courses are more of the middle level and it's 3 years. It combines practical knowledge with theory and then the students obtain a recognized qualification as a skilled worker or a journeyman. The final level is for stronger learners, it's a level 3. It also lasts 3 years, but it provides additional qualification, further training in the first vocational education. And they are completed with recognized qualification at the higher level than the current skilled work or journeyman examination of the level 2. So as you can see on the slide, it's an open and transparent model. So what does it mean? It means that if you start with courses of the level 1, 2 years, and then you decide that you want to work directly, it's possible. You can work during 5-10 years, and if you think, okay, so now for example, I was carpenter assistant, but I would like to be a carpenter, so I would like to have education again, then you don't have to start from the scratch. You can directly have go to this level 2 courses or even level 3 and have this additional qualification, so you only have to take 1 year of courses. So that's also very important that there is this possibility throughout people's life and people's working careers that they can, have access to courses without starting from the scratch. And for example, if we take the dual vocational training, specialist for building insulation, that was developed in Latvia very successfully, that's also in this direction. So now, within the 8 CoVEs of the 3 LOE projects, they particularly focus on vocational training for people with learning difficulties. It was very important, I think, as a project that we had special courses that were suitable for, students with learning difficulties. So the dual vocational courses that were developed correspond to the European Qualification Framework 3 and 4. A strategic program was also developed with extensive qualification, support and counseling tasks has been developed to integrate those young people with learning difficulties or social disadvantages. And now I would like also to give you a few examples of the dual vocational trainings that were developed and tested during the project. So for example, we had the dual vocational training Sustainable Restaurant Worker. So I mentioned it before. It was implemented from September 2021 by the Business and Hospitality Training Center VESC in Lithuania. In Latvia, we had a dual vocational training specialist for building installation. Just mentioned it also before. It was successfully implemented by Liepāja Technical State School from September 2022. And, well, very good news, the dual vocational trainings will continue after the 3 LOE project. But we're also implementing dual vocational courses for strong learners. So, for example, you can see here water supply, water saving, circular economy, decentralized wastewater, environmental consulting. So quite a lot of them. Yes, and in my presentation about international cooperation, I also mentioned the Train the Trainers programs, where we also developed some from this vocational level, so APF 3 and 4 again. Yeah, an example, we can take the Train the Trainer program for teachers to conduct dual vocational training. It was implemented by the Tadeusz Tański Mechanic and Logistical Schools in Słupsk in Poland, very successfully. And talking about them, they also conducting the technician training, ecological solutions and logistics. So it's one of the 5 dual vocational trainings that was developed within the 3 LOE project.
So the school decided within the 3 LOE to go ahead with eco-logistics as the program, which basically means that it's a logistics path, it's a logistics study path, with the focus of minimizing the environmental impact of logistics activities. Why eco-logistics at Tadeusz Tański Secondary School? Well, first of all, the idea was that the program would revolutionize the logistics technician curriculum. So there was a curriculum already in place, but then the idea was, okay, if Europe is going green, then why shouldn't we include every possible aspect of this green transition into the program? So this was point number 1. Luckily, it coincided with whatever 3 LOE project was all about. The dual system basically has greatly increased the number of practical hours that students are exposed to. So normally you will have the traineeship, okay? And so basically students go to companies and they spend there a little bit of time. But here, the dual system makes it even more possible. So not only do you have the traineeship, you also have those practical hours, conducted by companies. We know about the dual system already, and since day 1 of this project, I think we have learned so much, and we have all become experts in that as well. Well, there are lots of benefits for the student. First, the competitiveness in the labor market. Well, that means that those students will end up having greater career opportunities, and this also means that they can go from the school to my university, where we also have green supply chains as a logistics program, and it's also dual. So you see that students have more possibilities transferring from school to university, but maybe also directly to the job market. Barbara implemented the dual system in 2021 as a pilot with 32 students, but then she continued to admit students for the consecutive years, as you can see. So this is ongoing. This is here to stay. So Barbara is very successful in pushing this program and doing it not only for the project, but now implementing and continuing with that throughout.